Tight end, higher. Taysom Hill. You actually only like him one more than the experts. You like him at 12. They like him at 13. He's both exhilarating and frustrating to own.
Yeah, but I do think we could get a little bit more stability. It depends if Juwan Johnson's back. I might have to take back just a little bit. But over the last couple of weeks, his role has really steadied out with a 62 and 71% route participation compared to a season high of just 43% last year. It's a nice steady role. He saw a whopping 8 targets just a couple of weeks ago and was the PPR. He had a really solid day. He's been actually the PPR tight end 6 in back-to-back weeks, 12.1 in week 6 with 7 catches, 49 yards, and a rushing opportunity. 9 opportunities there for the guy. A tight end, that's no joke. Then the next week he follows that up with 5 targets, but then also 5 carries. So back-to-back 9 opportunity weeks, back-to-back tight end 6 finishes. And he had a nice 16.8 day because he had a rushing touchdown there. So we always know that he's a threat every week to rush in at least one score. I mean, last year he had a 34-point day too. So when you're rolling around the weeds in tight ends, like you can have a tight end that could potentially get you 20 to 30 points. You got to take that stab when you're taking such a low risk. But the better part about Taysom Hill is now he's balanced out by those targets, by the route participation. Again, if Juwan Johnson's back, we might see that cut, and then the floor does get a lot lower, but the upside would still be there, though. So I like Taysom Hill, back-to-back tight end 6. Now the tight end 12 in my rankings, still above the ECR. I think you can go to him as a tight end 1 this week.
Jake Ferguson, you were lower on, and you put in the copy here. He finally saw a season high 86% of the routes, a complete full-time role, and he had 1 target, 1 catch for 15 yards. A 3%
target share.
Right.
It was the only really good day Dak had, and Jake Ferguson did absolutely nothing. And so he's got a great matchup. Second most points allowed by the Rams to the tight end position, but he just doesn't look great. He only has 1 game above 10 points. That was 11 in week 4. Otherwise, he's had he had a 7 target, 7 catch day, and he got to 9 half PPR points, and he's okay, but as his routes have gone up, his targets have somehow just gone the exact opposite direction. I think it's a matter of Gallup getting himself fully healthy, Brandon Cooks getting a little more acclimated to the offense, and it's just not a great pass-happy team. So I'm lower on Dak. I'm certainly lower on his tight end this week too, despite a beautiful matchup.
All right, last but not least, Trey McBride for your Hail Mary. We talked about him last week. We both really like him for some reason. I just saw him and he just kind of jumped off the page or out of the screen to me. I was like, wow, who is that? Just as far as athletically, I don't really know much about him except, man, he looked like a, pickup truck, like blasting through like a crowd of, people, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Absolutely. Anytime a grown man hurdles another grown man on a football field, you got to take notice. And great after the catch. That's what he did all of his college career. In fact, he had 90 catches and 1,121 yards as a college tight end. That's insane. You never hear that in production. He was a 99th percentile as a result of his great production. 99th percentile dominator rating with 46.3% of his team's yards, scores, all that wrapped into it. He was the offensive engine over there at Colorado State. So he has a track record of being a key zoned-in weapon. As you said, great hyper-athletic, 87th percentile 40, 80th percentile speed score. He definitely get it done after the catch. That was a huge strength of his. The only thing was he was just lacking for field time because for whatever reason, they've been trotting out the corpse of Zach Ertz here, who's now on IR, though. And ultimately, we've seen his snaps and routes going up 48%, 51% routes with Ertz on the field. I imagine that's going to bump up for Trey McBride to 75% this next week. And we saw last year as a rookie, and this was the number 1 rookie tight end of last year's class by a mile. We saw last week, he didn't really have any huge days. He wasn't really seeing a full-time role, but then Ertz got hurt, and there was 1 week towards the end of the year, 10 targets, 7 catches, 78 yards, a touchdown, a 20-point day. We've seen him do it as a rookie. I wouldn't be shocked if he does it again here, and Kyler Murray may be back, probably not this week, but at minimum, a great guy to have on your bench. Let's see what he does. You don't get tight ends with this type of athleticism, this type of college track record that are widely available in your leagues, and they lead their second right now in total tight end target share behind only the Chiefs right now as a team. And yes, Zach Ertz was a lot of that, and you can't just be like, yeah, Trey McBride's going to get all of everything they've been getting, but it is a staple of this offense to target the position, and now he has a much clearer path to get a lot of looks. So I'm a huge fan of Trey McBride. I think he could absolutely be a solid stream this week, and at minimum, an interesting bench stash to see what he does.
Fair enough, and we just like that.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments. Check out some more videos. and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.